Hey everybody, Kuroda.
Hi guys.
Rob here.
And Rachel, yes, hello.
Yay! How's it going, guys? Today we want to talk about a game that we just completed, actually. Paper Mario Color Splash.
Yes.
So, this is a very, very, let's just say, controversial game, I guess, or
yeah,
polarizing
mixed
game.
reviews.
Very mixed reviews, yeah, this game's had. We originally got it, actually, basically the Christmas it was released in 2016 when we first moved in together, so that was pretty interesting. We got it for each other for Christmas, and we played it quite a bit after we got it, kind of stopped for a while, and by a while I mean like, what, a year and a half, 2 years?
But yeah,
and then we finally came back to it and we finished it. So we just finished it the other day for the first time, and I've heard a lot of stuff about it. I watched, for example, Arlo's videos and stuff about it. And there seems to be, it seems to be a very polarizing game. People seem to really hate it or actually really like it. And I thought we would do a little video about, our experience with Color Splash and our thoughts on it. And yeah, it's a pretty old game now. It's like almost 4 years old, believe it or not. So yeah, here's a retro review for you guys.
All right, here we go.
There we go. So I thought the first thing we could do would be to talk about the cons. And this is just the stuff that everybody kind of has complained about, and just some stuff that we kind of came across.
Yeah, personally found irritating.
So I thought it'd be good to get those out of the way and then actually talk about what
we like about it.
Why we like the game. Yeah, I mean, the name of this video is In Defense of Paper Mario Color Splash, so we're going to kind of defend the game, I think.
Yeah.
So why don't we start out with the cons? Do you want to start out a little bit?
Okay, so this is a big one, the biggest one I would say. The battle system.
Yeah.
So
convoluted, horrendous.
Why didn't they just go with the RPG style of the first two? I don't know. It would have been amazing, but instead they decided to bring back the card system. And, not bring it back, like they had, I think stickers in Sticker Star.
Yeah.
But it was the same kind of concept, and, I don't know, it doesn't work.
I will say it's, from what you've told me and what little I've seen of Sticker Star, it's an improvement on Sticker Star, because, the word that I keep hearing with Sticker Star, it's the only Paper Mario I haven't played, is that it's unplayable.
That's kind of how I felt about it, yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like Color Splash's battle system is unplayable. It's just not very fun and not very rewarding.
It's just kind of the weak part of the game, really.
It's really the weak part
and it's
of the
unfortunate
game.
Because battling is, as far as actually practically speaking, the time you're putting into the game, a huge chunk of it,
And the problem is with Paper Mario Color Splash's battle system is that there's really no reward or incentive to battle, because you don't really get experience. Yeah, you can have enemies drop these little paper, they're like these little cardboard hammer type things that if you get enough of them will increase the amount of paint you can get.
Yeah, but you usually have enough paint.
But yeah, you usually have enough paint, and if not, you can just go buy 1-up mushrooms and they will restore paint for you.
Yeah, what else? Also, you usually just end up using way more cards than you just would have retained all those cards if you hadn't battled, so it's hard to see the motivation.
I can't tell you how many times we were in a sequence of the game, and we would go through and we'd have to fight enemies, and then by the time we got to the boss of the area, we had no cards, so then we had to leave, and we had to go and try to find cards, or go back to Port Prisma and buy a bunch of cards and stuff, so there's just kind of no incentive for battling, and it's not very fun.
Another thing I kind of found annoying about it is that when it's your turn to go, you choose up to 3 cards you're putting into battle. You kind of just have to guess whether the cards that you're putting forward are enough. And if you put forward too many cards and then you kill the enemy with 2 cards, the 3rd card's just lost. You don't get it back, just wasted.
Yeah, if you, like she said, if you put down 3 cards and you only use 1 to kill the enemy, the other 2 are just scrapped. They're gone.
Which sucks.
Yeah, that's very frustrating.
Another thing I really dislike, and this is connected to the card battling system, is Chemic.
Oh,
and we didn't talk about this earlier. We were making a list. We didn't talk about it because I'd forgotten and maybe wanted to forget. Chemic just shows up randomly, and it's like, oh, suddenly there are restrictions on your cards. You can't use certain cards, or you have to use them at random without being able to see what card you're using. And it's just a pain in the butt, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a nuisance.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. The other big issue with the battle system is how long it takes you to, like, because it's all on the Wii U gamepad, so you have to select the cards, then you have to color them, and you have to push it, and then swap them, and it takes roughly, like, even if you're quick about it, at least a good, like, 20 seconds before you finally are able to execute your move. And it's just so long and such a complicated process, and it's just, like, you get used to it after a while, but it's still just unnecessarily obtuse, you know, so...
Yeah.
Moving on, anyway, from the battle system, what are some other cons here that we were talking about? The Paint Bandit? Do you want to talk about the Paint Bandit?
So, when you go to each area in Paper Mario Color Splash, you're going through the world and you're filling in paint because there's a bunch of like missing paint splotches. So randomly, you're just going about the game and then some paint bandit shows up in a previous area and just starts like sucking out all the paint from the area, effectively just undoing all the work you did for no reason.
And a big part of the game is when you go to each different level is to fill all the colorless spots. And then, you know, if you 100% it and get all the colorless spots and the paint bandit shows up, and you don't get to it in time, there's a chance that half the paint spots are back, and then you have to go back and try to figure out where they are. So that's
so
a little frustrating.
I know, so just like randomly throughout the game, parts of the work you've done are gonna get undone.
Exactly.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's fun. Aside from that, there's only two other little criticisms that I have. Number one was backtracking. Now I realize that this could also be part of how we played it. Like I said, there was quite a break, but like with us from, you know, between like the first half of the game that we played and the second half of the game. So we had to backtrack, especially going to Fort Cobalt, which I never want to see again.
Yeah.
For different thing items, or you know, that's a huge thing, is making sure you don't like overlook squeezing the thing items, because you will most likely need them later, and they are easy to they're totally easy to just bypass.
They're easy to miss, yeah.
Such as that basin in Fort Cobalt. You remember that? I just thought it was part of the aesthetic of the actual part of the level, but it's not. It's actually, you end up needing that basin later. And the game overall, along those same lines, can be a bit cryptic at times.
Yes.
You know? So
one thing we had talked about is like, I feel like sometimes it's really not clear what you're supposed to do, and that's not necessarily unique to Paper Mario games, because I remember in Super Paper Mario that was often the case. Like, you'd have to do these really random things that I don't think you could have ever figured out on your own, and it didn't seem like the game gave you an adequate clue about. And there's some of that in this game. Like, you have to fight a boss and you randomly need this one squeezed item, but like I don't recall seeing any clue that you needed it, you know? So how are you supposed to know?
There was a lot of times where we were fighting one of the area bosses, and I had to go to a walkthrough and see what I had to do. You can pretty much, usually by the first or second battle, I think of the area bosses, you realize, okay, I'm gonna need a thing card or two thing cards
to
beat this, but you don't know what they are. You know, I mean, there's little hints.
For some of them,
For some of them, but honestly, like, if you're really not paying attention, or like you really haven't gotten all the thing cards, like if you just happen to bypass one, it can be really difficult to what you actually need.
Oh, totally, because if you bypass one of the like obscure hidden away thing cards, then later they give you a hint, and you've never seen the thing card, how are you possibly supposed to know what they're talking about?
Exactly,
yeah.
Just hit up a walkthrough.
I feel like you need the internet to beat the game, really.
Yeah. Especially now in this world without player's guides, so you get on GameFAQs or go on YouTube and watch it, and you can find it. But other than that, did you have any other cons that you wanted to talk about?
Not really. I feel like those are the big things.
Okay. So to some of you guys, you know, in terms of like the mechanics of the game, those might be deal breakers.
Well, they're big things.
They are big things, and they are definitely big flaws and big strikes against the game. However, all that being said, I really, really feel that the game is worth all that BS.
Yeah, I love the game. It redeems itself in other ways.
It really redeems itself for other ways, and I always enjoyed the Paper Mario games for the story. Same reason I play any other RPG. Same reason I play Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, you know, a game like Dragon Quest XI, which I'm playing now. I love the story, and this has got to be one of the strongest stories in a Paper Mario game ever, in my opinion. And the writing is very, very good.
In my opinion, I don't feel like the story is necessarily that strong. You know, it's not like Paper Mario 1 in that it's like epic in scope.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's just mostly largely kind of silly and simple.
Yeah.
But I feel like the storytelling in each area is what makes it strong, you know?
It's almost like I see what you mean. Like the overarching narrative isn't as good as something like, say, the first Paper Mario.
Yeah.
But there's sort of like little stories in each area and different characters, and those are very interesting. And,
like to me, what makes it amazing is not the story overall, but like the world. You know, it's like exploring the area and like the flavor of each world and the flavor of all the characters. You know, that's really what makes it.
Yeah, I would say, and one of the things, of course, you know, with the story, we have to talk about the writing, and the writing is
great.
The absolute best part of this game. First of all, the dialogue is hilarious.
I know, I think it's probably like the funniest Paper Mario.
Oh yeah, it's unquestionably the funniest Paper Mario.
I feel like it succeeded with what Super Paper Mario tried to do. You know, I feel like Super Paper Mario was trying to be kind of quirky and unique and funny. At times it was, but at times it fell flat. But I feel like this game did really well.
I also felt in Super Paper Mario, for those of you who watched our playthrough, if you haven't and you just stumbled upon this video, we played through Super Paper Mario, and I felt like some of the quirkiness and the weird humor was a bit forced at times in Super Paper Mario. Yeah. It doesn't feel that way in this game. It feels very clever and natural, and there's a lot of like really, really funny things that the characters say. One thing, you know, that I always appreciate is the fourth wall breaks. There's a line.
There was a lot of those. Yeah.
There's a line literally that we saw recently with Huey. It was like, "Oh, you mean to tell me if we hadn't done this and that, then we wouldn't have had to play this entire game or something?" And that was hilarious, you know. You know, I also think there's also like just really kind of relatable moments where you know, with very minor characters, like there's a moment, we were talking about this earlier, on the Sunset Express, when you literally sit down with a shy guy, and the shy guy's like, "Hey, like, let's not lie to ourselves. We're enemies, but let's have a chat for a minute."
He was like telling this elaborate story.
Yeah.
That happens a lot with the baddies. Like you hear about their inner experience and inner world, and I thought that was kind of funny.
And other really funny moments like the Toad's going, it's like, "Oh, we don't know what to do, so we should panic and just flail our arms around," you know?
Yeah. Another Toad moment I really liked, and I feel like it kind of shows how this game really, like, I feel like they put a lot of detail into it in some ways and really tried to make it good. Is there's a rescue squad of 49 Toads, and they're all waiting in line to go into like a circus show, and every single one of the 49 Toads has something different to say. Like, you can go up to each one and he has something to say. Yeah. And it's like, now that's detail. Like, normally in games you just like, they all say one of three things, you know?
It seems to me they put so much work and so much time and so much love into each piece of dialogue and into the writing. It's just that the mechanics just aren't the greatest, you know? And I don't even fault them so much for that either, because I think the direction they've been trying to take with the Paper Mario series is to go in a different direction and try new things, to just try to be unique, because that's what Nintendo does. And as everybody knows, Nintendo either completely excels with it and breaks ground, or they fall flat on their face. As far as the mechanics of this game goes, they fall flat on their face, but I will give them a little bit of credit of trying, you know? But yeah, the writing is absolutely fantastic. There's some really touching scenes in this game, particularly the ending when we just finished it. I actually felt like towards the ending was like it hit me a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
it was good.
Like, it's not all fun and games necessarily. The story can take itself seriously sometimes.
Yeah, it can sometimes, but it's mostly hilarious.
Yeah.
What else? What? Give us another pro here.
One thing we had talked about is like random unexpected references or like cameos, which I really liked. I thought it was really cool. We didn't talk about this, but I love how there's just random Yoshis that kind of like appear here and there, you know? I wish they'd done more with Yoshi, to be honest, but I like the random, like, you know, interjections.
And there's references to other characters that that they'll talk about.
And other games.
Yeah, and other games. Yep. There's
like,
a lot
they
of
reference some Zelda stuff, like when you have the flute item.
Yep.
You know.
There's literally a whole sequence of the game where I won't spoil it for those who don't want to, but if you're a fan of like old school Mario platformers,
like Super Mario Bros. 3,
really love this one section of the game. It's really great. They also referenced Wart, which I thought was great because he's kind of an obscure character. And you also get other characters throughout the Mario universe that pop up. You know, Chemic, Birdo pops up for a scene,
Yeah, that
which
was
is
cool.
cool.
Birdo being in it. Yeah.
I love the stuff with Luigi.
Wasn't Petey Piranha in it, or am I mistaken?
He might have been. I don't remember.
If he did come up, it was like when we played it years ago. But yeah, Luigi, he doesn't have a big role in it. It would have been cool if his role was better. But he like randomly is just hidden throughout the world. You can find him. It's cool.
Yeah, and he does have his moment in the game, which is also I'm glad they did utilize Luigi in some way.
Yeah.
So yeah, the references and the other characters that pop up are definitely a big one.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And overall, the world it's a very vibrant world.
Yeah.
It's varied.
It's a colorful game. Like actually, just like physically, it's bright and colorful, and I like that.
I like the whole color theme. You know?
Oh, me too. Of course.
Like because they have the different sections of the game where you have to find the different colored paint stars. So the paint, the green paint star is in the green area of the map, and the blue one is in the blue area, and the red. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's interesting the themes that they have for those different sections.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah. Like this is a weird thing to compare it to, but or rather contrast it with, but like. For those who played the game, I Am Setsuna,
Oh yeah,
the
that's
whole
random.
game is like it just came to me for some reason. The whole game is like the same, It's like we're in the snow, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty, but it's all exactly the same. But what I like about this game is it's so incredibly varied. Like each area is drastically different than each other area.
You go everywhere from a desert to a jungle to sailing on a ship to a volcano. It's a very you can tell that they put a lot of work into the world and. Graphically, it's really neat. I think we should.
It's visually pleasing.
And I think we should talk about the other kind of theme of the game, not just the color, right? The actual paper theme.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
they did a lot with it. It wasn't kind of like. And then again, I don't remember with the original Paper Mario how much they referenced them being paper, but it's referenced quite a lot in this game, And some of the ways that the characters function is based on the fact that they're paper. So it's like they're really actually taking that. Seriously,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's times,
like literally.
Yeah, there's times where, like for example, if you want to engage an enemy in battle and you have the hammer and you hit them, the enemy just like crunches up like a piece of paper being crunched up.
Yeah, or when the enemy's almost dead, they're kind of the paper's kind of like falling forward. It can't really support itself anymore.
Yep, and you can see like when like the enemies start running out of color. They start like you said, they kind of fold like that, and it's almost like when the different characters, whether they're enemies or toads or whatever, if they run out of color, it's like the life is getting sucked out of them. Everything revolves in the game around like paper and color, and it's just it's a simple theme, but they do it in a really clever way that I really appreciate.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
Agreed.
And that being said, given another pro, given just the verity of the world and how different everything is, it makes exploration really fun.
Agreed. Everything except the battling in each world.
Yeah, the battling gets tedious,
which is part of the exploration.
But exploring the little nooks and crannies of the world, and I actually really like filling in the color spots because
it's fun.
It's really fun, and you feel like you really accomplish something when you get 100%, on it. And then, of course, the stupid paint bandit comes and messes up your day. But, like, it is really fun to explore and find those little nooks and crannies and try to get every little color spot that you can. So we haven't 100%ed every area in the game, but I think we might have to go back and do it.
And our last big pro, the music is awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
you riff on this one.
Yes, which is a really important part of a game.
Yep.
I think it really makes a big difference. And I don't know. Once again, it's varied, and they did a great job, like, using music to give to the right mood to each area. And like there was a lot of great, like I'm a piano player, so like I really appreciated the way they use piano. Like at times they have like a main theme that's kind of ragtimey, but then at the end they made it like this beautiful, like more ballady piano rendition of the same tune. And I don't know, I just like the way they what they did with the music.
There was and the music kind of encompasses all different styles, like there's jazziness time. There's points of like jazziness and classical influence. Like I love the just the main menu theme with the violin. Do 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 do.
Yeah, like they take the same theme and remix it in a lot of different ways, which is cool.
And even something like the normal battle theme, although you hear it a lot, I don't get sick of it. It's kind of got this like jazzy weirdness to it, and you get everything from kind of odd shanty like a cappella in the whole Fortune Island part to stuff like the
like a creepy, sinister circus kind of music.
Yep, and you get like a deserty. You get in the desert area. It's like a bluesy kind of like blues rock kind of sound, which is really cool. And I don't know, the soundtracks they just
it just showed that they put a lot of effort into it. Yeah, like you could tell. It was great.
I think it's sad that Color Splash gets as bad of a rap as it does. I understand why, because fans of the Paper Mario series just want to see a return to form. And I think obviously the direction Nintendo was going with the Paper Mario series was, hey, the Mario and Luigi series can fill in the whole like, you know, turn-based RPG kind of style. Why would we have two series like that, you know? But people consistently like the first two Paper Mario games better than the other ones.
It was the best battle system. They should never have changed it. I understand the criticism.
I understand the criticism too. That being said, though, I think despite the flaws that Color Splash has, it really is a rewarding game, and
it's worth it.
And what I put down on our notes here is that it is the strongest non-RPG Paper Mario game.
I agree.
In my opinion, I'd say it's my third favorite Paper Mario.
Agreed.
It was very like the world really encapsulated me more than Super Paper Mario.
Agreed.
And I just loved the characters and the writing so much. Again, this has got to be some of my favorite writing in the entire series. So it's worth it just for that alone.
Yeah, the good is good enough to make up for the valid bad
all
parts.
The valid criticisms. And if you don't want to be burdened by the convoluted game mechanics, watch somebody play it. Watch a Let's Play. It's really worth at least visiting the world once. And hey, maybe some YouTubers will do a Let's Play or start live streaming sometime. Maybe someday. All right. Did you have any other final thoughts that you wanted to say?
That's it.
Nope.
No.
Well, that's it, guys.
I enjoyed it. That's all.
Yeah, we really enjoyed our playthrough of Color Splash. We're gonna move on now. Finally, get to Luigi's Mansion 3, and maybe we'll do a video like this after that or something.
Sounds good.
But what did you guys think? Have any of you played Color Splash? What are your thoughts? Are we full of crap? Is it do you agree with us? Like, do you also love this game and think that it's underrated? Let us know. And until then, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Peace.